So, let me just talk to y'all about my personal journey, because I know people are seeing, and now I have different followers on different social medias, and now there's an apparel line coming out, positivity, and videos, and whatever. There's a whole bunch of positive stuff that's just I'm throwing out there, tough, and how I came to understanding and why I'm talking about it. See, rules and regulations never really sat with me too well my entire life, okay? And I wish I could tell you it was because I had some deeper meaning or thoughts behind not doing what I was supposed to be doing, and I saw all this coming, even at a young age. But I just basically didn't understand why I had to do things I didn't want to do, and decided not to do them. That led to a long road of institutions and jail, prison, etc., etc. So I got my long stint in prison, which was about 5.5 years. Now, really had a decision to make at that time. Was I going to? Because you can go one way or the other. Decide to just, you got caught doing what you're doing, and that's the only reason why you're there, blase, blase. Or to maybe look at yourself. Now, I didn't consciously make a decision to look at myself. It kind of led me that way. Because even though I never really followed the rules, and I was never really one to go with the norm, like, I would go to class at times, but I wouldn't do what I was supposed to be doing. But I would never have a problem with helping tutor somebody, help somebody get ready for a test. I just wouldn't take tests. You know, school always came extremely easy. I just didn't understand the system behind it, and why I was validated by this little piece of paper. So, when I eventually got to prison, at first, yeah, I wanted to be a badass. You know, that's what fucking convicts are, you know? Badasses. But it just couldn't flow right through me, you know? Like, more and more and more I saw was the more and more I wanted to change, and somebody needed to say something, step up, or just maybe stand up for somebody who was getting either taken advantage of, and blase, blase. And this is when I really started to see that one person could change the world, in the sense. And I'm not saying I did God's work in the joint. I'm just saying that maybe I said no for a couple people that couldn't say no. And I wasn't nobody to be saying no. I mean, I was an 18, 19-year-old kid in with a bunch of lifers and people who've been doing stuff a long way. In a long time. But I was, however, under the impression that whether you were pro-race, you know, white supremacist, the black pride, or brown pride, whatever you were, or if you were pro-gang, or whatever you were, that your true intention, if you really cared about your people, would have to be to make them better. So this place that we were all in would no longer be their stay any longer, you know? And that led to a few things. One thing, I was valedictorian. And that sounds funny, but it's not as easy as you think. It's easy for me, for guys who, that's all they knew were gangs and everything else, and to go to school and class every day instead of, you know, get in trouble and just gamble and do whatever, but try to do something productive every single day. And I just kind of started seeing things I didn't like, and then decided to say something if something needed to be said, regardless of race, religion, ethnicity. And then during that, I started seeing that, well, goddamn, man, a man got to look in the mirror. What I did to my family was absolutely terrible. Now, I didn't go around and, you know, I don't know, I didn't like beat my mom and sister and stuff like that. I mean, I didn't do terrible things by, you know, society standpoint, but I did terrible psychological things. And it was time for me to also call myself on some shit. Slowly, day by day, through many different avenues, I just progressively, got really intrigued with self-development and what it would do to you, what you could do for yourself. So I got my own self-development things that I learned through prison and my life experience, and I took that when I got out and I ran with it, leaving the past in the dust, never to be seen again, at least in my mind. That's what I thought. Got out of prison and I just knew that nobody would want it more than I did. I just knew that even though I had 8 felonies at the time, no job history to speak of, at 25 years old, starting over, at no job, no car, clothes my stepfather gave me, and a job application that would have to be turned in with 0 job history and felonies written on the back. Remember my first job application, man. I went to Chick-fil-A and it said, if you're a felon, check here and then list the felonies. I'm like, okay. And I completely ran out of room on the back. I'm trying to explain it and turned it in, and I was like, damn. They looked at it. Like, okay, well, I was like, man, yeah, they're definitely gonna call me. So I put somewhere upwards of, I don't even know, a gazillion applications. Eventually I got hired at Tropical Smoothie. And that was because of someone my stepfather knows. Got me an interview. And I was stoked, man. I got student loans, rode my mountain bike to TCC every day, back and forth, showed up to class sweaty as shit, and I worked with a bunch of high school kids. Went a long way from being somebody who I believe I did, changed lives in prison for the better and was a leader, and then now you're back at the bottom. But, I understood that was the first step. And it was onward and upward from there. So life gets going, blase. Work as a pizza delivery driver and a tropical smoothie specialist. And I go to college and eventually got a moped, a scooter, which I wouldn't have been able to do without the help of an ex-girlfriend. And I was riding my scooters around town. 49 cc's to the max. You see them on the highway with their head down, going forward, trying to get aerodynamic because the fucking thing won't go over 30. And from there I got my grant money and progressively got an old truck, and then life started happening, blah blah blah. Learned construction a little bit, served a little bit. But anyways, I just knew that no matter what I did, because I would excel at it, because I know no matter what I did, no one was going to do it better than me, because I was proud of whatever I did. So I was a goddamn good employee at Tropical Smoothie. And then I was a goddamn good delivery driver. And then I was a goddamn good student. All of which eventually led me to not do any of those things. And then I started my own company. And that went under hard. That went under hard after going up fast. And I thought I had prepared myself for everything in life, man. I mean, everything. To make sure I never relapsed, never committed crime again, mentally. Because, the psychological battle is fucking all it is. And what I wasn't prepared for was to... I never thought, even when I started the company at first, that it would get the recognition and I guess, demand so quickly. I mean, in a matter of months. Even though I was saying that shit out loud, preaching good shit that, as long as you keep fighting, you can get it, da-da-da. But I mean, as things kept going, take the next step, it was just knocking down, opportunity. But I wasn't prepared for that to happen to have that amount of success and then just let down every single person that I had mentored and led. I mean, when I got out of prison, I was teaching gang awareness and drug awareness and anger management, human resources, man. I mean, I challenge people to stay clean in prison and not to use just because you were there. And you know, I remember my good friend Lucky came down one time. His cellie had got some dope and was like, "Hey, bro, my fucking cellie has some dope," and blase. I didn't even do it, bro. The only reason I remember this conversation is because he reminded me of it after my relapse this time. I said, "Man, you don't get a high five for doing what you're supposed to do, man. It's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to not get high. You don't get a attaboy for that shit." And it was just the type of thing, like, I thought I was prepared for everything, you know, leading. I would never let anything break me down. And then I let down every single person in my entire life. My kids, my girlfriend, my ex-girlfriend, my at the time, you know, my brother, you know, my operations manager was like a brother to me. I mean, I thought in my mind I was going to show him what he was, you know, because we were going to show his kids what he was capable of, his wife what he should always have been. Not that he was anything less before, you know. I was going to show people that I mentored getting to that point, you know, people that I had worked with, you know, my brother-in-law, another good kid that was kind of wrapped up in drugs, got off the streets, and that you can do it with nothing, you know. And no matter how hard I fought, it seemed like I was getting pushed back. Now, my whole mentality by the time when things started falling apart had changed. I was angry. Things started falling apart. So then I relapsed. And then there went fast, quick. And then I decided to get sober after fucking a train wreck of fighting to hold everything together and drug use. But I realized that after already going to rehabs and what I had already done to my family, it was no more fucking hand in hand, that a boy, go ahead and get sober. Not that they didn't, you know, give me support and all that, you know, but I wasn't going to take it. This was on me, and I was going to make sure I never failed it again. And I was going to understand why I failed again. Because I was clean like 12 years. And to do that, I had to study the mind. Understand where addiction came from in the mind, why it happened, and why, no matter what my beliefs were during that time, how it got through the gap, and how this negativity, hatred, and anger got through this gap that I thought I had this impenetrable wall up. That led me to the study of, you know, where addiction comes from the mind and where the drugs go to place, you know, affect it, and the science behind it, you know, and the neuroscience behind it. That led me to understand a whole bunch of shit. I was like, God, well, then I started thinking about my rehabs and my you know, drug treatments in prison and really what they were doing during the therapy. It's not really any medication for crystal meth, or, you know, like, it's just, you know, get the fuck off, homie, as you should. But no, woe was me, and no, like, I did it all by myself. But I'm saying it made me understand why it happened, why the therapy was done, and a whole bunch of other things. During this time, I was having some weird health issues, man. Like, I had a constant pressure on the back of my head, like kind of like where your brainstem is at the top of your spine, and it just would not go away for nothing. I mean, I was seeing doctors trying different, you know, non-medical evasive approaches like physical therapy and blah 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 blah. And turns out I was having pressure on the back. My spine was putting pressure on something, which was putting pressure on my medulla oblongata, which was putting pressure on my cerebellum. I hope I'm saying these phrases right. Which was making me do some far out shit. Like it looked like I would become possessed. Like I wouldn't have control over my body. Like, you know, I would be like. So then my family and I were looking up stuff, and ataxia is coming up, and all these different things that happen when that part of the brain is pushed on. Basically, it's where your subconscious mind is, which controls your instincts, how you move, how you feel, basic motor function, blah, blah, blah. And I saw that, and I was like, no way, I'm not fucking, I'm not doing that, I'm not fucking going out like that. And then, I was like, okay, so how the fuck do I beat that, right? Okay, so I didn't, obviously, just fucking relapse, lost everything. I don't have money to go to the top end neuroscience, neuro surgeon and to fucking fix me, bro. But then I remember some of the things I learned from understanding addiction and understanding, when I was really big into positivity and Dr. Wayne Dyer, and it all kind of clicked. The subconscious mind, if that's what's happening, and something's getting fucked up in my subconscious mind, I'm not going to think about the physical part of it, like it's putting pressure there. Subconscious mind could be manipulated and influenced. I remember that. So then all the way in. Subconscious mind. How do I do it? What's going on? I think the first thing I Googled was like, how do, control your subconscious mind? And then I started reading things about how, you could talk to your mind, and you need to, it likes repetition and blah, blah, blah. And a lot of the people, including my chiropractor, thought that my posture had been a big part of it. Turned out it was like a bunch of muscle overuse from trying to keep my company going, which was a construction company, and being twacked out and working on it. I ain't fucking up on my muscles. But, and how you would, you say simple affirmations, phrases like, I will have straight posture. I will have straight posture. And so far out shit started happening. Like, when I started doing that, because I understood that the shit had to work by dissecting. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you I'm a fucking doctor or that I know it all, but I trust and believe. I fucking don't know the terms, don't know whatever, but I mean, you're talking a good, I don't know how many hours and pages of text, because I thought I was going to be fucking bobblehead, and of understanding the mind and how the subconscious mind works, just so I can make sure I could get healthy, and so I wouldn't, make sure I could have the strongest game plan against, relapsing ever again. And so I started doing this thing where I would be driving, or I would be walking, and I will have straight posture. And it was kind of working, and then I would just remind myself, and I'll try to stand straight. I never knew if I was standing straight, like, I couldn't really tell. Then I read something that said, if you can influence your subconscious mind, that it's to save you. Like, it could kill you or be detrimental to your survival, okay? If you do not learn how to do this, then it could kill you, basically, in a sense. Because your subconscious mind is your survival instincts, or your subconscious mind controls that part. So I basically started talking to myself all the time, like, hey, we got to get this posture thing together, bro. Like, otherwise we're gonna die, and I am statements are powerful, I guess. I know. So I started saying, like, had that talk with my subconscious mind every day. This was before I started doing meditation, anything like that. So that out of nowhere, one day, I'm walking, right? And I go, I am going to have straight posture. Then it kind of clicks me like, well, we'll have straight posture. That's kind of like a future thing. And then I said, I have straight posture. And fucking, I'll tell you what, man. Like, I'm just in the middle of walking like this, and my whole body, without my control, went, like a slingshot, like a board, straight up. I don't know if you know, but to tell if you have straight posture, most of us have like this little bump on our neck right here, like from, a little hump. If you feel that, and you kind of push your chin backwards like this, you'll feel your spine go above it. It's really creepy. That's how you know you're standing straight, and your neck's straight. Forward neck posture is a bad thing from us on our phones and shit. I'm trying to do my best to keep it up here. So then, I'm like, that's fucking wild, man, And what I didn't tell anybody at the time was, me and my fiance and I started calling it "Let Go, Let God," because out of nowhere, I would have these like weird, like I was talking about in my head, urges, and I would just be like, fuck it, I'm gonna let it go, see what happens. Like I'd have to constantly stop my muscles from doing things. And I thought I was gonna go straight, crazy status. But what my body was doing was like yanking on my shoulder, trying to unfuck up my neck, make me stand straight. So I was like, and I started getting the understanding that my body was trying to heal itself. It was like unwinding all this locked up ass fucking shit that I had going on. And the more and more I read on stuff, the next time I would let go, let God, it would try that new concept out. Like, so I didn't know what to say or do, so I didn't tell anybody, because I didn't want to go in there and be like, hey, so I'm like possessed or something, because I don't have control of my body, and then it does this shit. Because it would be like, my body would like slam my shoulder into the wall. And that's what I didn't want to walk in there and say, I didn't even know what to fucking say. Then I found out later on that it was the pressure in the back of my head, and so blah blah blah. But I also realized my subconscious mind was retaining information without me knowing it and doing what it's supposed to do. Save me. And that, in the middle of that, you know how YouTube goes, hey, you like this? Fucking like this. And at this point, I was over motivational videos. I was over, like, you can have it all attitude. Like, that's all I used to listen to. All day, every day was motivational speeches and, you can do it type things and good music like that. And then he goes in the corner and he goes, why quantum physics why quantum physics backs the law of attraction. I had no fucking idea what quantum physics was. All I know is that quantum physics sounds like some high fuck tech shit, and if that's saying law of attraction is real, which I had a very small understanding of what it was at the time, then that's pretty fucking interesting. I'll check that shit out. And it's like this voiceover of some digitized ass, like, you are awakening, and I'm like, whoa, this is way too far right field for me. I can't fuck with this. So I get out of it. And I'm like, whatever, right? This fucking guy's trying to fucking get some views on YouTube, those assholes. And then I see this, so I fucking hit next or something like fast, because it made me feel weird. The next thing that pops up is this guy. He goes, it says, Mandela effect, fucking, if you don't know what the Mandela effect is, it's like some people have the same memory of some shit that may have changed, like, Forrest Gump saying life is like a box of chocolates, now it's like life is like, was like a box of chocolates. Small things that some people have memories of, and then you can't find that shit anywhere. Little things change like that. And Nelson Mandela, they call it the Mandela effect because Nelson Mandela, a lot of people thought he was dead, he ended up being alive. I don't know. But I see that, I didn't know what that was. And it says, how my life changed and I got like superhero powers, right? I'm like, whatever. So I'm on my way to click out of it. I'm like, God, I went down some weird shit. Like, YouTube brought me somewhere. The dude starts talking, right? He doesn't sound like a fucking nutbag, right? He's just like a fucking cool guy, like, mid-30s, and he's just like, so check this far out shit, right? He's like, this started happening, and he's like, just stay with me. And it says something on the bottom of the screen like, hey, I know I sound fucking crazy, just give me a second and hear my story a little bit. So anyways, I paused that. I'm like, made it like a conscious thought, I want to check that out, but I want to go look at this quantum physics shit. At this point, I had started to realize, man, I didn't know shit about shit after I started, studying the body and the mind and all different, personality disorders and what the fuck happens in your mind and how and why and blah, blah, blah. So I'll check this out. And then I stumble upon, shout out to UR Creators, Justin Perry and them, quantum physics like playlist on UR Creators. And I see it's got like 1.2 million followers. I'm like, okay, this can't be too far out, because the other one only had like 400 views or something. And it has 5 videos. And I'm like, I was definitely it's got to be under 6 minutes long type of clicker, So if you're still with this, thank you. I don't do that anymore, but I did. And it was like 7-minute videos, 5-7-minute videos. And it explains this shit of like, you know, the split theory experiment and how, you know, I won't go into all the science behind it because there's so much, but it goes into this experiment where they're shooting electrons to a fucking laser gun and how it couldn't have happened, you know, a certain way if something didn't mean something, you know, pretty profound. And I'm like, man, fuck off. Like, you're trying to tell me science is saying what I used to believe, that you can achieve anything if you do it the right way and be positive and blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, okay. But then I go back to the Nelson Mandela video. I'm gonna finish this guy off. And he's talking, and now he's referencing quantum physics. Totally two completely different genres of people, fucking light years away from each other as far as like what the fuck they're talking about, and that clashes. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, that's weird, right? Maybe there's something I don't know about quantum physics. I still didn't really understand what it was, but I understood that like science was saying some shit at a very small level, atoms. And the only reason I went back to the other videos is because atoms were talking about, like I know that from school. I had to look up a fucking atom on Google because I couldn't remember what the fuck an atom was and how the electrons were placed and blah blah blah. Basically, that like the only thing I could remember, like that's what everything's made out of. So I was like, well, if everything's made out of it and they're saying that, well, that kind of changes some things, but it doesn't really mean anything in my life. Then I go back to that guy's video, and he references the Divine Matrix by Greg Braden. Super good. Check it out if you haven't. And I'm watching it. For whatever reason, this thing's resonating with me, and it's like not crazy like high tech, but it's long, like 4 hours long. He's at a conference in Italy, and he's talking about it. And he's explaining what I just had heard on the quantum physics videos, but he's explaining it really well. Amazing speaker. And he's talking about how quantum physics is backing God. Now, too, we're just praying the right way, but the wrong way, and we're finding out all this different shit. I'm like, okay, like, everything's coming back full circle because, you know, as you know, science, religion were banging forever, and I was not really cool with that because I'm pretty spiritual, or I thought I was spiritual. And so I fucking sit my ass down and I watch this, and it's just, things just start ping, 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 like fucking connecting pieces, like in my mind. Like all of a sudden, things are making sense. And I'm like, holy shit. And I'm like, okay, well, if all this fucking hoop blah 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 fucking is true, you know, then you should be able to fucking manifest anything. I didn't even heard the word manifest. I think I say it 50 times a day now, 3 months ago. And we should be able to do it a lot more. So I'm like, okay, maybe I don't understand this all the way. So then I dive headfirst into science. Like all day, every day, I want to know everything there is to know about science. So I realized I didn't know dick. And I was speaking on things very ignorantly, which I definitely shouldn't have done. Like I said, I just had found out a whole lot about the biology of the brain, and maybe there's a whole lot I don't know about science I should be knowing. And man, I mean, basically this whole like world had opened up, whatever, of why things are pretty much a lot fucking different than we were taught. And dude, nobody's fault, you know, no one's trying to fuck people up, but we all need to be taught again and how to do that, blah blah blah. That's what my videos are talking about, blah blah blah. And that's why I started understanding, like, how did this happen? You know, this is all true, then everything we kind of know is fucked up. Like, why we're upset, we don't really making our own decisions, and blah blah blah. And long ass story short, full circle, I went back to the subconscious mind and put the science together with that, and then I watched a whole bunch of neuroscientists, and went over to the spiritual side, went to every single religion to see what they were talking about. I was on this like fucking journey, like I needed to know because this was so profound if it was all true. And plus it made sense, like why I had fucked up in my life and reasons why, and it made sense like that's like a lot of it like led down my trail. And just lost my train of thought. What the fuck? Trying to find my lighter. There we go. Hold. How basically psychology and all this other shit that I'm talking about, and it's no secret, we all knew this shit, that, people market and advertise to influence us, whether it's an idea like a government official trying to get appointed, or, a product or a brand for you to buy. And this is what I started understanding is, well, shit, our own life experiences teach us shit, and then my understanding, and then I went and fact checked it about through every fucking avenue you can think of, and our life experiences are influenced by a whole bunch of shit, including, our family and friends, and nobody's doing anything wrong. That's the thing. Everybody has good intentions and da-da-da. But what happened was, throughout time, the higher-ups, fucking, people that had money and were actually in some type of place where they needed to do advertising or to influence an idea because they were in pursuit of, making their own dream happen, or to help the world. Scientists and psychologists and doctors and people started finding out how to influence people a certain way, the power of suggestion. So then that's why you see all these different ads, like the simple one of, like, they put $6.99 up there, so our mind looks at it like it's not $7, even though we know it's $7. It's like, that's a real simple one, but shit like that. So every single person and every single company and brand and all around the world are just attacking everybody's brain in an attempt to brainwash them, really, because it's all subliminal messages for you to buy their product. That's what commercials do. That's why they understand the science of how many seconds it takes to influence you, and blah, 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 and how to use different colors to catch your eye, and a whole bunch of, you're talking about millions of different ways. And people are spending, millions and billions of dollars a year to do this with I'm sure there's a couple out there, but we don't want to focus on them because we'll give them power. With no, bad intent. They're just trying to, that's their edge in. That's their way to get their business pushed forward, or how they're going to get their opinion across. Or how, because most of the time I think their idea or beliefs is better for the world or for whoever they're talking to about whatever it is, a certain way. And what they're going to do is use that to do that. Try to manipulate you and hypnotize you in a sense. But, what happened was every person all over the place, and, through TV and through ads and through whatever, radio and blah, 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 everybody's taking their little slice and slamming it at us. And then basically a whole bunch of shit got fucking influenced in our brains. Then we pass that on to our kids and blah, 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 blah. And then we start getting all fucked up. We don't even realize it. And no one's thinking about it because everybody's just doing their own little angle. Like, I'm going to get people to buy pizza. I'm going to get people to, vote for me. Or I'm going to get people to buy this type of shoe or this type of cigarette or this whatever. But basically, people are only successful, and companies are only successful because of these concepts, because of the science behind suggestion and the psychology behind it. And it's fucking blows my mind. Like, I can't go into it all. I'll be on here for 17,000 hours, but of how it all makes complete sense. If you think about it really briefly, religions are all separate as fuck. You can't even talk to your neighbor. If you're a Christian and your neighbor's a Muslim, or Muslim, I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, y'all can't talk about your religions. The fuck y'all gonna punch each other in their face. Why? Because, our religious leaders, not because they're doing anything wrong, are teaching us that ours is the right way. Which isn't a bad thing to do. If you think yours is the right way and you're doing the right thing, I get it. But it's just fucking powerfully suggesting we're doing something wrong all the time, or they're doing something wrong to the point of, we can't even talk about it, homie. Don't even talk about it. Don't you dare. Don't go. Let you catch your neighbor talk to your kids about a different religion than you're bringing them up, and you will freak the fuck out. Why? It's just random ass information that Not saying anybody's right or wrong. It's just random information that's in the world. Why can't we talk about it? It doesn't make any sense. But meanwhile, we're running around letting everything else influence our minds. And what I started finding out is basically this, that quantum physics and everything else is telling us our thoughts and emotions create our realities, all right? And that is just because thoughts and emotions are energy, vibration, and frequency. You know, Tesla said, if you want to know the secrets of the world, think of it in energy, vibration, and frequency. So no matter what you're thinking, good, bad, or ugly, you are creating whatever the fuck you want. My other videos explains that better, but I just wanted to kind of jabble on how I got to where I am today, just because I've got a lot more like social media followers, and you know, apparel's going out, and which is fucking awesome, you know, super badass. Kind of why I'm going to that route now, like the apparel and the videos, and why I decided to do that, because what we're not realizing is, like I said, we're getting influenced by subconscious bullshit all the time, 100%. Let's just walk around with earbuds in, not let anybody talk, and you're only watching positive shit 100 hours a day. I don't do that. Then you're getting influenced until you understand how to take some shit out and put some new shit in. But the science behind how to influence people subliminally during advertising is not super crazy, you know, high tech. It's a bunch of different shit. Basically, you just got to be there. Make sure they see your shit somehow, in a sense, you know? Like, if you, like in one of my other videos, I talk about like putting "you are enough" on your fridge. Just seeing it, not even really reading it. Your subconscious mind will read it. I mean, your subconscious mind can read a fucking piece of, like a newspaper article before you read 3 words, and it'll scan that bitch. And that's why things will stand out to you, and you'll be like, oh, I'm gonna go over here, way to the fucking right, left corner at the bottom, out of nowhere, because your subconscious mind caught something that caught its eye that would, you know, interest you as a person. And our subconscious mind dictates everything. I mean, it runs by 90 to 95% of our fucking brain. That's it. Your conscious mind only decides where to put your attention and your imagination. It's like the gatekeeper of what's true and what's not. So basically, I got to the point of like, well, I started looking for like style, like, you know, quantum style, positive style, whatever style. And couldn't really find any that was swagalicious. And I started thinking, well, what if we can put, you know, positive affirmations and believe in yourselves and self-made entrepreneur type attitudes on shit that people wore with some good design. And nobody was really doing it, so I had to go learn how to do graphic design, and also I chose to. And that's how the apparel came about. Well, so if we start putting that message on every fucking thing, it's another way to get it out there, because once we change the worldview on what's really happening and how we can influence us, you know, the next generation, understand the new science, it's going to be a beautiful thing. I mean, that's my ultimate goal, is to help influence, you know, education in these concepts. And I won't go into all that. That's the end game goal, but it's all steps along the way. And I'll just tell you this, because the science behind it is this: as you take that next step, going in that right direction, the next opportunity just keeps presenting itself. That's why successful people always say, just believe in yourself and be positive. Because as you do that, shit just starts making sense, even if you can't see end game. Just like if you're spiritual, it says trust in God and just, you know, ask and move, basically. Don't question. So that's my real long story about how I came to understand. My real long, compressed story of how I came to understand, you know, the factual science, the neuroscience, the biology, and the marketing concepts and everything else. So why I'm pushing all this so hard, and why you need to believe in yourself, and why you should spread the word, because the only thing it's going to do is create more of that in your life. So that's it. I'll post this long ass video, uncut and raw, just in case anybody feels like watching me, because damn, I'm handsome. No, but for real, that's why all the apparel, and that's why pushing everything out, because by bettering everybody else, you're really bettering yourself. And I've seen it personally, how powerful it is. You can do anything you want, and you just become a great person in the process. It's beautiful. Talk to you soon. Andrew Ware, energy, influence, and inspiration. Hashtag self-made.